Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look over a little bit of the book. So I'm going to read through a portion of the book, chapter 11.5, Saving Data Locally on Android. So this book was written by Lvov Dvokike and me, and we've been working on this book for quite some time. And basically, I'm going to read a little bit from it. Also, the Room database example that we have here is also from the book, so the wishlist application. And let's go through it. This will give you a little bit of an idea how to save data locally, or the reasons why Room database is good. So saving data locally on Android stores data on the device itself, such as in a file or database. This can help improve the performance and reduce the need to access external data sources. Additionally, it can help make an application more secure by preventing sensitive data from being exposed over the internet. There are several ways to save data locally on an Android device. Below are the listed options and their explanation. Shared Preferences is a simple key value storage system that allows you to save small amounts of primitive data such as strings, int, and booleans in a file on the device. You can use Shared Preferences to store user preferences, application settings, or any other small pieces of data you need to persist. Then there is Internal Storage, is a file system specific to your app and accessible only by your app. You can use internal storage to save private files to your app, which should not be accessible to other apps or to other users. Then there is the external storage, which refers to storage that is not internal to the device, such as an SD card or USB storage. You can use external storage to save files intended to be shared with other apps or users. And then there's SQLite and Room. These are options you can use to save structured data with a chance for manipulation. We will be learning about them in detail shortly. So now, which of those options should you choose? Well, it depends on the specific needs of your app. For example, if you need to store a small amount of data that do not require a structured database, you may use Shared Preferences. On the other hand, if you need to store structured data and perform complex queries, you may choose to use SQL or Room. So why aren't we using SQL? Well, let's talk about SQL real quick here. SQL is a lightweight embedded SQL database engine that is well suited for storing and retrieving data in Android apps. You can use SQLite to store structured data in a database and perform queries on the data. Over time, it was found to be complex, requiring long lines of code for its actualization. So that's where Room came in. Room was created to reduce this complexity. It's an Android library that makes it easier to work with SQL databases. So basically, it's like a layer on top of SQL databases or SQLite databases. It provides an abstract layer over SQLite, allowing you to interact with the database using data access objects called DAOs. So we're going to set up a DAO in the next few videos, so you can focus on building the app's features. Room introduced some key features that facilitate the integration of local database into your application. They are listed below. So it's the entity class, which we'll need to set up. Well, actually, we already have an entity class. In our case, it's called the, wait a second, how did we call it? We just didn't call it data class or entity class. So it's our wish, okay? So we need the entity class, then we need the DAO, which is the data access object. We need basically to set up those CRUD operations that I was talking about. So it's a abstract class, and in this case it was a person, right? So we have the insert, we have the, well, basically create, search or read, update, and delete. So this query here is another way to search. So this is searching a user by its ID. This one is searching a user, well, all users in a given database table. All right, so we're going to set all of that good stuff up in the next few videos, and then we can basically use that using a database. Okay, now you see there is this class people database that inherits from Room database using the person DAO, and the person DAO is in turn using, well, accessing these entity items such as the primary key of the person and the last name, for example. Because you see, whenever you add a user, you're passing a person object. Whenever you update a user, you're also passing a person object, and so forth. Then there's also something called flow. We're going to look at that as well. But this just gives you a general overview. And if you want to read the book, you can find a link to the book with a discount in the bonus lecture, which is at the very bottom of this course, at the very end, so to speak. So you see one thing that we have done already, which was to add this plugin, Kotlin Kept. And now you might, well, you have been wondering maybe why we added this plugin. Well, now you know, we needed it for our Room database. And then we had these Room database implementations as well, or dependencies as well. Now you know why we want to use those. So, performing CRUD operations. Let's go ahead and actually do that with our project. And I would say, let's start with it in the next video.